I start NOC Overkill so long, right? I've never worked with any friends before. Like,
But I'm your friend. Am I not your friend?
Yeah, my friend.
But I work with you.
You touch me, then you disgusted. We asked you to send us your renovation horror stories. We will do it.
We will read them.
Stories are meant to be read.
But you also had your own horror stories, right?
Of course.
I also have my horror stories.
Okay, I don't know. I completely new to all.
Okay, I have to say maybe for you as a beginner, I don't know will you agree with me, but I can tell you
No.
100%. I can tell you 100%. There is no perfect renovation. I have never seen a renovation 100% the person entirely very happy. It's always got hiccups here and there. So that is something that I think I want to manage your expectation when you do your renovation.
So today, right, I'll play the person as completely new to Reno.
Yes,
So I'll be
yes.
asking the questions like, what should I expect? Can I avoid? Or like, what are the tips and tricks?
Right.
So to me, right, I'm just a...
You know experience. He has some experience.
I don't know
I have a lot of
experience.
experience.
It's like, I just married, then I want to do Reno.
Okay.
My role today is just to make fun of you.
Okay lah.
yeah.
So let's start off with the first story lah. Okay, we give nicknames for all these stories, right? Because I think it will be too obvious, right, to know who he is lah. When they say the company name, all that.
Wow, they name dropping.
Dude, this time around they got send screenshots, circle this, circle that. Wow, intense But there were also some stories that the ID complained about the customers.
So not only customer complain ID complain customer.
I think this time it's not to like shed light on which company do bad or what. It's more like hey, every renovation has its problems. It's for people to know because like what Nigel said, before I get into renovating my own room, I also thought like renovation is tough, but it's okay one But when I go into it, it's super duper difficult.
It's very difficult. And to juggle work and renovation is really quite still, right? Okay, so the first story, let's call it Durian.
Wow.
Okay.
A bit smelly.
Okay, he said, my ID was really responsive when he took our project, but gradually as time came closer to the renovation, his response only came every day or two later. He took nearly a month to come up with the carpentry measurement because he was handling several projects, and we accommodated. After which, he told us he would do a second 3D drawing, which didn't happen, and proceeded to cut the materials. He then showed us what he did by sending us a photo, and it was totally different from what was discussed. So those changes, he charged us a few more hundred, and the built-in finally is completed, but the laminates were having so many gaps which we have to touch up and cost us even more. So instead of 25k, we paid 31k in total. Hashtag send helps. Okay. I have to say a word of fairness okay? For the ID. Okay, now I speak from the ID side. Because I didn't understand this aspect until I worked heavily in this line.
Right.
ID 很难做，真的很难做 because a lot of moving parts.
Coordination
a lot of coordination, a lot of moving parts. And then not only the homeowner can scold him, all the contractors can scold him also. It's very 惨 one. They're very 惨 one. Okay, they are expected to have all the answers. Okay, so a word of fairness. It's not easy.
I have this stereotype about ID.
Okay, like
That y'all may say I bias or whatever stereotype, whatever shit I don't care. Amongst all the ID I have seen online and maybe on TikTok, right? Almost I would say 80% all are being But I can understand why.
Why? Why?
My logic, my theory is that so they can scold people. Imagine the Abeng scold the contractor should do his job well.
technically, yes.
You see?
You cannot look like you can kena bully.
Yeah, you cannot look, especially when you're idea, you cannot look like you can kena bully. Correct.
But also, why you see so many abeng, right, is because, to become an ID, it's largely unregulated. You can just apply to become an ID. Tomorrow, all of us can just become an ID.
Sounds good.
Doesn't matter. You don't need to know design skills. You don't need to because technically, if you really break it down, you look at your ID. Your ID don't actually physically do any work. You just call people to come and install it. Call people to fix that.
No, but they need to do designing.
They need
3D render all that.
But the 3D render is not done by them. It's outsourced to China people. $80 to do it. $80 per drawing. Then they will charge you $1,500 for that. Yeah, you never knew.
But I will want in future. I will want my ID to be Abeng or Alien.
Right.
I want them to get things done.
You can choose the Abeng or Alien.
Yes.
But they may not necessarily be a designer. They might be just a salesman.
I just need them to get the job done.
Yeah, but let's
And
say,
these are the people that I want.
It depends. If you want the house to look nice, best you find somebody with an actual design sense.
Right.
And this can be tested right when they draw. If they draw like a kindergarten or nursery, right, you know you're already. So
back to durian.
yeah, a lot of things is happening here. Of course, when the ID is trying to close you, they are the nicest people in the world. Response fast and all that.
Correct.
And one of the biggest thing I feel as an ID, right, is you don't find the ID that is the most expensive or the most hui design one. You find the ID, right, that will most be responsive to you, reply you when it's needed.
That's your most important criteria.
That is the most important. You must reply me. I don't care. I think during your renovation, I help you handle your ID a bit, right? You know, like I get very irritated when they don't reply fast.
But to be fair, actually, my ID is not the most unresponsive.
No. Not
He actually quite good already.
Yeah.
Like sometimes maybe he was in a meeting or whatnot. But I think my ID I quite lucky. I think he more responsive than me.
He chasing you,
Yeah.
Okay.
Chasing me.
There will be some case like that. La. One of the influencer I do the house for, right? I'm not gonna say who, okay? The first ID that he
How many guys?
Wait, I haven't said
Wait.
So he or she, right, the ID, right, was very extremely unresponsive.
Okay.
And then one day I sent a very long text, okay, to tell them that can you all be more responsive or something like that. Then the person say, I in this life for 25 years already, you don't tell me what to do. I sure I called the boss, I fired both of them.
Whoa.
I changed the ID.
You fired the boss also?
No, I fired the ID. I asked the boss give me a new ID.
Whoa.
Yeah. Then the second ID did so much better. Yeah. So
You're also quite a big actually.
you have to be fierce in this one because you a lot of people will be very rude to you. You have to be a little bit fierce. You must stand up for yourself. One. Let's say they choose your tile and then it's not the color you want, they install it, right? You don't like paiseh to say okay lor. When they put you every day look at it you will not there. I should have said something. It will remind you every day.
What tips do you have for those like new couples, right, who are afraid to tell the ID this kind of thing? Like imagine like maybe the tile is like of a different color. Then
it's not what they chose initially.
It's not what they chose. But then imagine their ID is very intimidating. Like what do you think can be?
Okay, I thought of this problem for a very long time.
Right.
And that's why this is not a plug, but I really started Easy ID and HomePay for that reason.
Oh.
Okay, I started.
So if you want to look
No.
for okay.
It's not that natural. Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of problems that homeowners can face from ID. Okay, ID may take your deposit, run away.
Correct.
ID may say,
Got such thing on me?
"Wah,
Got a lot, the news.
you Google, bro, a lot."
Because unregulated.
Unregulated, they don't need a license to be an ID. So what happens, right, is like, let's say, hey, Ben, these tiles are very good for your bathroom.
Okay.
Wow, that's nice tile.
I say very good. And you really like it. Then I say, these tiles, right, for your entire bathroom is $4,000.
Wow.
Hey, now you give me $4,000, right? But when I go install in your house, it's not this tiles anymore. This one is real tile. Then what I install is like a mix of cement and some other thing.
Just an imitation lah.
But you don't know because it looks the same. But you just didn't know, right? Actually, you pay me the 3,000, I pocket some of your money and I go buy a cheaper, inferior one. That happens more often than it. And it's so subtle, right? Not a lot of people can tell. So I got some friends, right? They go renovate their house, right? They say, hey, 你知道我这个 travel time 我还4000多块 Then I go touch, it's fake one I know it's fake
But you don't say lah.
I will not say on that day when there's other friends around but I will secretly go tell him, hey, you better check your ID, ask him for the invoice. Then the ID cannot give the invoice because it's not real. Yeah, then I tell you honestly, that's not real travel.
Wait, so he already paid for the
he
house?
already paid and he paid the Traventin price.
Then how?
Then he cannot like that lah. But
LL
he already passed the money to the company, and the worst part is when he go call back the company told you.
Oof. That's a big L right there.
So there's a lot of ID companies out there, right? They because it's unregulated, they open, they sold all these projects deposit, they disappear. So that's why I started Easy ID and HomePay so that we have some sort of regulation and we work with people that we have confidence in. And then that's for Easy ID platform. And then HomePay, right? What we do, right, is we hold the money, right, in escrow. What do you mean by an escrow? Is that what you're going to ask? You know what's escrow?
Escrow lah.
Explain, come.
Scroll like you.
No, try it. What's escrow?
Can you say that sentence again?
You know what's escrow?
I know.
Okay, you know what's escrow?
I know.
Don't lie lah.
Hey, he university one.
We say the sentence
So
again.
we hold the money in escrow.
Walao, so easy.
Some,
Huh?
say
Someone.
say.
Say.
Say, what's escrow?
That one lah.
What? Okay, so escrow is like a custodian. You know what's custodian?
Walao eh! You explain one cheap word with another cheap word.
Okay.
Basically, it's like
We
they
hold the
only
Hold the money. That's what I say. What?
yeah.
Hold the money.
they only pay when the job is done.
Okay. This is how it works. He's homeowner, you are ID.
Yes.
I'm home pay.
Okay, money.
Okay. So you give me your money, right?
I'm who?
You are ID.
ID.
Ah.
I'm the homeowner.
So I hold all the money now. Okay. So now you go do the work, and it's typically divided in few stages, 3 to 5 stages. Okay. So you will say, okay, I do hacking first. You finish the whole hacking, right? I give you one part of the money. Now you do finish. But he must be happy first. He will look at all your report because you're supposed to send all your pictures and progress in the app. And then he happy with, he release the payment for you.
Not happy?
Not happy, I will hold. If he never respond in 7 days, you still get.
Okay. So got a bit safety net for both sides.
yes.
So now you move on to the stage 2. Now you start doing your toweling and everything. You finish, right? Give you another one.
So it creates a sense of accountability between each party.
So it's like dog like that lah. You do like that, I give you treat.
No, wait. So you take your money. So what happens now? You run away. You run away with this money.
Yeah.
Then he honk out. He will say,
my household.
But I still holding some money. I hold some money. Now I say I'm going to find another ID to help you complete. And then the rest of the money will be given to the new ID too to help you.
Then this
but you already run away, what? But you already
at least
completed.
your job is done. You
Your
pay
job-
for what is done.
The part is already done.
So you never lose because you already done.
Right.
So what HomePay is, right? We act as a custodian to protect both party interests. But on the flip side, right, there are some parts also come like your hand. So I already pay you. Right? He already finished most of his work already. Okay. Now he finished the entire project. This is the last remaining money. Typically, right, homeowners don't want to pay this money. They keep saying, hey, my floor got scratched, my tile got scratched. They purposely. Then you go fix. Next week, the scratch come out again because wear and tear will happen one. But it's not his fault, right? But 你死都不要给他这个钱. But HomePay, right, we won't let that happen because we will also see whether it's a reasonable request. Let's say you say your floor got scratched and we fix the floor. 2 weeks later, the floor, same area got scratched again. That is user problem or wear and tear. That is not reasonable. So
in a way,
we'll give you the money.
You are like the middle person to like or judge which one is fair, which one is not.
Not say so serious until like judge lah, but I have to be reasonable lah.
Like there's a neutral ground.
So this policy, right, is called the Home Protect policy. So it safeguards your funds, right, against unforeseen circumstances. Why are you looking at me like that?
I
don't know. You look at me like I'm very sus like that. I'm just telling you lah. If the shop closed, if the place closed or what, right, we'll replace it with another ID to help you finish the rest of the work of similar skill level and price point.
So this insurance is like in case the ID runs away lah. Right.
Wait, but this insurance you need to pay extra for you.
No. It's all part of this app, so you just have to register. But there's also a benefit for the ID. Let's say if your complaints or what, right, he had to send in the app and you have to fix it in order to get the payment, correct? But typically, right, nowadays, people not happy, go buy TikTok video, go buy put Google review and hide out this company
like
over
docs,
something. And then they still have to fix it. Don't need to go to that extent. We keep it everything civil and try to fix everything. So that's why.
So they are like, you say HomePay is like a custodian lah.
Custodian.
But you know what you are?
What?
A comedian.
I'm a comedian that started a custodian service.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, HomePay is an app that helps homeowner have a pleasant renovation experience.
Wow.
It serves both homeowners and the ID. And then,
But actually, he asking like if you paise to say.
No, correct.
you paise say correct.
No,
but
that's
you,
why I say, let's say I paise to say, right? I know there's a neutral person.
Yeah.
So I like, I don't really like this job. So I tell HomePay, like, you help me tweak the ID.
Basically, you put everything inside this app. Then you communicate everything in this app, right? You keep it civil, and then we will help manage everything.
So it allows the communication to be less in the face. Like at least you go through a middleman, then the middleman can also explain on the ID's behalf.
Right. There's like a third party lah.
Yes, correct.
So if your tile is something not right and all that, right, you can ask for the invoice and everything. Everything will be inside. You don't need to 搞到去做 TikTok video or make everybody piss off lah.
Actually, I also faced the same problem. I paise to say some stuff. But my situation a bit different.
Liu.
A little different.
L-I-L
A little different. Because some of it is sponsored. right? And then I say to say.
Right.
But my mindset was like, if I were to pay for this, right, don't be afraid to say, because you are paying for it.
Yeah.
It's your money. If you pay for something that you don't like, right, then you're gonna regret down the future. Confirm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just think of it as like you're paying for it. You have all the rights to do what you want.
Correct.
Do what you like.
Right?
But that also reminds me one thing. This is also one of the reasons, right, why you shouldn't look for your friend to do your house. Because you will be even more paiseh. Because you will expect him to give
the best quality,
the
best
and some
service.
discount.
Right.
And he will expect you to be chill about it. And then you all will sour your friendship. Every time I hear a lot of horror stories today, you hear is they find family member, friends and all that. They're no longer friends.
So like 讲钱 then 伤害感情.
Yeah, it's like that. So don't find a friend. You professionally go hire somebody, right? It's better. Okay. Because it's just a transaction. I pay what, I get what. That's all.
Okay.
So start your renovation with a peace of mind using HomePay and download the HomePay app, right? So that you can easily create an account with SingPass. You log in with SingPass on it.
Oh, even more accountability.
More legit. Okay, we are MAS approved and we work with DBS as custodian service. So it's very legit one. And also if you download the app and sign up HomePay, right, we are also giving a brand new Tesla Model 3. Okay. But of course you need to log in and then make your first transaction. And how you make your transaction? Use Easy ID. Then you got double the chance. So these are all the benefits you have for using HomePay. I hope that it helps because this was me 4 years in the industry, seeing a lot of problems between the ID, the homeowners, from my audience and from my own experience. I created this in order to solve all these problems. Yeah. Okay, I didn't create it. I got somebody to create it, but I'm inside the company.
Right.
So back to Durian, right? He said he paid 31K instead of 35K, right?
Yes.
Imagine you already finish the whole money inside the escrow system. They have to work within your budget. Then you will prevent this type of bill shock. Like suddenly, 加这个加那个.
Means the ID cannot be paid 31K because the homeowner only pay 25K.
So order for him to get 31K, right, the homeowner must top up. Which means that you must 预先跟他讲嘛, we need to buy more tiles because it's not enough to fill up this room or what. So you need to add another 6K. They must agree then they. It's a very safe system.
Okay.
Oh wow, today's theme is fruits.
Yes.
Wow, very fruity. Orange says the contractor just decided to spam call in the middle of night drunk and said he won't be completing the job and we can keep the remaining payment as a form of condolence money. He literally used the word 我当白金给你们.
Huh?
You want Abeng designers like that?
No, but that is contractor.
Doesn't matter, it's contractor or ID. This is Abeng type. Because a civilized man won't do that. What?
白金 is not the funeral money.
It is condolences money. That's what he said.
But
Honestly,
he's drunk,
this one also very one-sided because we don't know what he done to make it to trigger until like that. This is very serious. This is not commonly seen. I seen contractors arguing, but never to the extent 我当白金给你. That's
It's like insult already. Wait, but isn't this illegal? It's like a breach of contract because there's an agreement that you have to complete this job.
typically if you go through ID, right, your contract is with the ID.
Not with the contractor.
Yeah, but if you go directly to contract, you probably have a contract with them.
But it seems that this person do his house himself. Then he has a direct link with the contractor.
Yeah, because the contractor call him.
Yeah, because the contractor usually will call the ID one. Yeah, but this one is directly call the homeowner already.
To be fair to be fair, I'm not saying this guy is because he submit his stories but sometimes homeowners also can be quite a zibai. I've seen a lot of zibai homeowners Basically don't want to let anybody earn. Just want to take advantage of everything. Want to pay the lowest but get the fastest and the bestest. It can get ridiculous like that
Wait, can I ask a question? So let's say as a new homeowner, fresh in the ID world, is it better to, let's say I know like a lot about tiles. Is it still better to get an ID or I just go straight to the contractor?
Let's say you have a vast knowledge on renovation.
Yes,
you know a lot of the thing, right? Actually, you can do it yourself.
Really?
But you must know your sequencing. Like you must know, like if you don't know, I say, I want to paint my house first. After that, then you do hacking. That don't make sense, right?
Yeah, don't make sense.
But you will think it doesn't make sense, but a lot of people don't know. But they want to save money so that they go
Correct. Because ultimately, home reno, we all know it's not cheap.
Correct.
So
it's
like,
not cheap. You can save right?
Where I can save, right, I obviously will go and save. Like especially maybe paint wall. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I think I can do it myself. I think. Yeah.
He think you see it yourself.
What a joke.
You know his wall painted 3 times, 3 different times. Not easy, bro.
No, because like ultimately everybody is just trying to save money.
Yeah.
Also the ID and the contractor, they're trying to earn money.
Yes.
So where I can save, I'll save. Where they can earn, they can earn.
I agree with you. But the thing is, right, in the cost of saving money, right? If you keep going for the cheapest and all that, right, you might not actually be saving money in the long run because things break down, spoil, not good.
Then no warranty. All this,
then
right?
you will end up spending more money.
So it's still a good idea for those new homers to get an ID.
Yes, but your ID have to be legit. And how to be legit, you won't know why.
Oh, you're done already.
Sorry. Longest conversation I have with you in podcast.
Next time I'm gonna talk to you through escrow.
But Ben, you went through renovations, right? What type of homeowner do you think you were? Do you think you were easy to work with?
The best.
Yeah, I agree lah. Ben was very chincai lah.
No lah, I think actually I felt quite bad during the whole renovation thing because I wasn't involved in a lot of process.
A lot of times I scold the contractors or what is I scold for you one. Not even my house, but I scold for you.
I felt bad lah because I felt that they wanted to showcase their product and I don't want to say like I don't like it, then I don't show, you know. They want to show their best product and me not liking it is my personal preference. But like I just okay lah, I'm sure like many other people like, so I'll just put it out there for the audience to see. I felt bad because like I didn't like involve myself. It was more like the idea I liaising with my mom most of the time. All I did was like I'm okay with it. Then y'all just do whatever y'all want to do in my room. Sure, I'm okay with it. It's like my room is like an experiment.
So basically, you became a slut lah.
Yeah. Y'all just put your fingers into my anus. But I think that like being a homeowner, right? If I were to be paying for it, right, I'll be more detailed in terms of like small little details I don't like because there were a few that.
But there were some aspects you paid for it, not all.
Yeah, if I pay for it, then I will choose lah. I will choose what I want lah. When I was doing the whole renovation, I felt like as homeowner we shouldn't be. I feel like I trust my ID in that sense.
Yeah, you have to trust lah.
Yeah, I see what he did, all that. He do look like he's knowledgeable. And then like I don't want to like make job difficult for anybody. You know, like if I can make it simpler and I still like it, then why not? Yeah. Then that was my mindset lah. Like, if I really don't like it, then I'll voice.
If you go through another renovation next time for let's say when you get married, you get your house. Now you have this basic knowledge. You will know how to manage it a lot better.
I will lah. One thing I didn't like was not enough storage. I don't have storage in my room.
But bro, your room is less than 100 square feet. Come on.
My room actually very big.
Yeah, I know, but that is the maximum amount of things. You want to eat there, you want to use computer, you want to watch movie, you want to store your thing, you want to display your thing, you want to sleep on it. You want how many things you want?
Yeah, that's why like I think like my ID did a lot of fulfilling my requests.
I tell you, your ID really break his back to make everything you want actually happen. When at first you told me what you want in your room, I said, bro, it's impossible. How to put all this in your room?
Yeah, but he did it lah. He
really did it I think that's also one point, right? Why your technique won't work, right? He got ID to take care of everything. Right. Imagine you are working a full-time job and you have to go handle that yourself. How?
So the learning point here is to be involved, guys.
Yeah, you have to be involved. You have to be concerned about it. Some influencers I do the house, they never visit their house on there.
Oh, I know.
I don't know why. I don't know what you're talking about. They don't visit their house and I visit more than them. But it's okay. They are my friends. I go help them out.
Yeah, correct. It's okay, Xiao Qian.
But you see, for my house, until now it's still renovating. I'm living inside. That's a bit overkill, but I want to make sure everything is nice. And you've been to my house recently, right? I see your face. You're like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You see it pay off, pay off.
So the next question from Pineapple. Not sure if my experience is interesting enough, but it definitely made my blood boil. Wow. We only did minor renovations, but the master toilet turned into a huge issue. My husband is tall, so we clearly said the sink had to be higher, but it ended up being so low that even I think it's short, and I'm 16 centimeters shorter. Wow. We argued and he claimed the problem was my husband being too tall. I'm like, what the isn't that why we talk about it?
He said that your husband is too tall. That means the sink should be higher, not lower.
No, now it's the
sink so low that even for the girl is still low.
The idea is now it's not my fault. It's your husband too tall.
Some IDs are not trained to handle objections, so they get very defensive.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, what?
The question has not ended there. There's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more?
We also bought large marble tiles from Valentino. Wow, what's that?
It's a brand lah.
It's a brand. Okay.
That was really intense, bro.
But they cut them into smaller slabs and we were ready to faint.
What?
That's it.
Why they cut the slabs then they faint?
Oh no, I will tell you why.
Okay, you explain. The odd sizes are facing the main floor instead of tucking into corners. Plus the shower screen isn't installed right. So water seeps out every time we shower and we have to sweep it up. Our contractor, a friend, seemed more focused on his vendors than on us. It's a nightmare. Every time we communicate what we want, it ends up totally different and we get gaslighted. I seriously detest home renovations now. He's a church mate some more. My husband and I are people who will do a lot of things for our friend and we are both professionals at work. guess we assume friends will be so too. It's a very tough lesson for the both of us.
Yeah, like I say, okay, there's so many aspects that this is a rather interesting story to me because
basically they hire his friend to do lah.
Yeah, don't. That's number one, don't. Because it's very hard to communicate. And then 现在朋友都做不了了. Number two, the marble tiles that you say, why is it irritating, right? Because typically people buy the entire slab, right? Marble is natural one, ma.
Correct.
They buy the entire slab, they want to display it as big as possible. Because once you see the joint lines and cuts, right, it's very ugly, ma. So typically, there are some odd corners, right? They will use the smaller cuts to hide it at the back or the corners where you can't see. But this guy, he cut it small and then he put it at the most obvious spot. Yeah, it becomes an ugly thing. Marble, stones are all very expensive. And not only that, right, you can never buy the same piece back again because it's all natural. It can be quite heart pain when you see they cut wrongly. When they did my bathroom, right, I sit down there, I put the camping chair seat in front of him and watch him cut. Make sure he paste every piece for me. I still write in a piece of paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, for my house. Make sure he put the house correctly so the line flow in a way I like.
Okay, so number 1 is don't get your friend to do
Don't get your friend.
Number 2 is buy a camping chair.
Number 3 is marble is a very tricky material for your home reno, correct?
Marble stones
I think the last one is what I feel from this story, right, is that I think sometimes if you were to engage your friend, not say it's wrong or like it's right, but I think you need to manage your expectations. This person never managed their expectations because what the person says is that I do a lot of good things for my friends and why he cannot do the same.
Correct.
Doesn't mean you do a lot of good things, they have to do the same back to you.
When you expect, you disappoint. I always feel that. I really feel like renovation, especially this type of thing, I don't work with friends. In fact, I start NOC Overkill so long, right? I've never worked with any friends before. Like,
but I'm your friend. Am I not your friend?
Yeah, my friend.
But I work with you. You touch me, then you.
I said I don't work with friends, as in take them as clients. So if my friends got their own business or that, I never want to work with them. Our expectation and the realistic parts of it, right? They won't understand. Right? I always believe don't work with friends, even in this capacity.
Actually, one thing about it, right, is I agree with Ryan because I wanted to be more involved in the project. And along my renovation, right, there were a lot of hiccups that I wish, right, I went there and saw. Because I didn't see it happen, then need to keep redo because it didn't turn out very nice.
Then it just waste everybody's time.
For example, the lime wash, the paint. It was repainted 3 times.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, so because like I felt like if I was there, at least I watch a bit of the process. I'm like, this is fine.
No, dude, this guy, right?
What guy? Why?
Number one, the first time when it was painted, right? I was like, what is this? I literally in the group chat, I was angry. I say, guys, this is not gonna fly in the video. People can see it's not very well done. I was asking him, man, you okay there? Okay lah, it's okay lah.
Really?
Then I was like, no, it's not okay. Then I go cut. Then I said, we do.
I like to believe the good in everyone. Right?
You believe he already did his best.
Yeah, I feel like that was his best work. Then even if it doesn't look good, then that's his work, ma. I'm showcasing your work. I'm not trying to like help your business or whatever.
But as the marketer, right, I feel like I want you to showcase your best foot forward. Why you want to give this type of thing? People can see, ma.
But I have a question. Cause
Can you raise your hand higher?
Higher?
I have a question.
Okay, you may ask.
It's like myth. It's a myth lah. I don't know whether it's real or bluff.
Real or bluff? Real or fake? Real bluff.
Okay, y'all can help me bust this myth. I heard that lime wash, right?
I tried to bust the myth.
You want to hear?
You see lah? 5 minutes, bro. Ask the question.
Cause I heard that lime wash, right, once you do it in your house, right, it cannot be repainted already. It only can be touched up. Like once it's done already.
Okay, if you want to redo it, you need to paint the base
Whole
back
thing
and
again.
then do the lime
You need
wash
to
again.
redo it.
Yeah, you need to redo it.
So actually, lime wash sometimes may not be a great idea lah. If you are like someone that
Honestly,
cannot stick to the same color.
How about
You got lime wash experience?
I didn't mention this in the actual video, but actually I wasn't a big fan also. It takes very long to settle down. Until today, if I touch the wall, got fingerprint.
The oxidization takes very long.
It's a bit of my fault lah. Because my hand sometimes a bit oily.
Okay.
And it doesn't work. And that's one of the reasons why we repainted a few times. Because drying takes very long. So when we touch it, right, then we'll have the fingerprint and it won't go away. Then we don't want to show on the video.
So some workers actually are other workers, nothing to do with the lime wash. Okay, the lime wash is
just
innocent.
the material, the chemicals inside.
So they painted, right? Then another worker maybe come and fix the aircon, right? Accidentally touch, then the fingerprint on there.
They won't know, ma. They'll be like, when they like come down the ladder, then they like that, got 5 dots there.
So before you want line wash, do everything first. Last is paint.
I will say that.
Yeah.
I will say
Right.
that.
Last is paint.
That was, I think, one of the things that we miscommunicated
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
my aircon had a lot of problems. Then
Yeah.
the aircon, the pipe run through the wall.
Yeah.
So because
then it needs
the
work.
paint done already, then they need to change the aircon, change the piping. Then that's why like a lot of...
That's why I say
we
it's not one person's fault. One. And at first impression when we say this story, you might think, the line wash sucks. But it's not.
No,
It was a lot of problem from
Yeah.
other vendors that is beyond his control.
Sway. They pay
lor.
finish, right? My aircon start to leak. That's why I say in the video, it's good for people that are health conscious because it totally don't have the chemical that's
Yeah.
causing cancer.
You don't smell it, don't
Yeah,
smell anything lah. Yeah. Personally, even in my new house, I never do lime wash.
Right.
But for me, it's just an aesthetic reason. I don't like the aesthetic of it, and I feel like it's so overused. So I don't really like lah. But I also do agree in some people's houses I like. For example, my house, right, it's done well.
Actually, the color wise, I think was it Xiao Qian's house? She
Oh,
uses
the one-
lime wash.
yeah.
The color was beautiful.
The one is done by Vasari. The one is actually.
It's
very
just
good.
that I didn't like the functionality.
Yeah.
You need to take care of it very well.
If it's your entire house, I still can understand because it's just your room. You got limited space to move around, so may not be suitable for everybody.
Even now, until now, I try to be very careful not to touch my wall.
Then we paint fourth time. Then the layers of the paint coming out and coming out.
No lah, I tell myself the fingerprint now is a design.
We still need to go back to the first thing that she complained about, which is the husband too tall. The thing. That happened to me at my first renovation. Back then, my girlfriend and my helper, right, they use the kitchen most often.
Right.
And they are much shorter than me. So I cater. I say, hey, the induction hob, right, you cater to their height. So the first time I go cook, right, I cook Maggi mee, right, I just lean down to see, right, oh God, that is forever always here leh. Okay, the height difference is really a lot, 16 cm. It's very hard to draw how one person is going to be uncomfortable. I have to say that.
But isn't it better everything like larger?
No, but you want to tiptoe and wash your hand every time, man.
Small people can wear big jacket, but big people cannot wear small jacket. You know what I mean? That kind of logic lah.
I understand lah. But what if the house is small? Then you might not
Some
have
more
the
this is
luxurious
the bathroom, right?
Yeah. So,
Actually, I got a solution.
Okay.
The Omni desk. You go create this sink. Right?
Stand up,
The sink can go up, go down.
Okay, yeah, that's his idea.
Yeah.
TM.
or you can spend $4.90 buy a stool so you can stand on it. Simple.
But
Don't need
because
so
the
complicated.
ID is a little bit of a cunt, like never measure properly. Then
Yeah,
that's
Blame the
Yeah,
husband.
this one take you should never, as an ID, never blame the homeowner. They don't know. Educate them.
Yeah,
Be
actually, yeah,
patient.
true.
They don't know. We really don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. This story is from Honeydew.
Right.
Okay. I joined a scam company as a newbie in interior design, and after being retrenched during COVID, excluding their illegal hiring, let me share the whole story in this ID firm. I took over a commercial reinstatement project at the senior resigned, leaving the project a mess. The boss, who had zero experience, claimed that I have to handle everything or the company will get demerit points. I was overwhelmed with over 30 foreign workers messaging me for payment. They were all illegal part-time workers with full-time job during the day. The site had a poorly done open-air hoarding, and the boss kept using these part-timers to save costs. I was running around Singapore buying tools while managing the chaos. Management walked by every morning, snapping photos of dust and warning me about the cleanliness. I ended up mopping every night alone, feeling totally depressed but with no time to cry. In the end, I barely got $3.50 commission from the project. What lesson?
Basically, what happened was
She joined a 黑店.
and like she had to cover everything herself.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not part of a ID's job, right?
Yeah.
It's not right. Because I feel quite sick. Actually, one of the reasons why I was quite sweeping with a lot of things in my room renovation was because I felt like ID has the toughest job.
Yeah.
Because ID is like army. Army who has the toughest job?
Sergeant.
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 Sergeant has the toughest job. Because at the bottom you, the on top also you.
Yeah.
You know why? That's why three stripe to collect all the shit.
And I felt like ID has that role in a renovation.
Indeed.
Yeah, a lot of time need to communicate with the contractor and then come back to the homeowner. If the homeowner not happy, go back to contractor. Contractor not happy, no happy. That's a tongue twister, man. If the contractor not if the contractor not happy, go back to homeowner. So very difficult.
They cannot always.
Yeah, so I try to be the one that say okay lor. So like everything will work out smoothly lah.
To answer your question, yes, ID is expected to handle everything. But the key thing is this ID is joined as a newbie. How can you throw a newbie to do
And the worst part is cleaning the whole place.
Yeah. No, because actually there's general cleaning workers. However, they illegally hire all these workers.
So don't have.
Yeah, then they don't do all this.
Never mind. If you tell me my commission 5 digit I'll gladly do it.
Gladly do that.
350 eh.
块半 eh.
You 鸡饭加饭 also cannot But I hope no other company out there, if you all hear this story, will treat your workers like that. It's too crazy.
Yeah.
But is it very common in the ID world to hire illegal workers?
A lot of ID company mass hire a lot of IDs. Why they hire a lot of IDs, right? They don't care whether they are qualified, they can design or not. They want them to close sales. So essentially, you look at them like best tanky salesmen. Right? Really, because the more they sell, the more commission the company make and the bosses will make a lot of money. So whether it works or not, whether they are real designer or not, does not matter to a lot of this type of company. Right. That's why I always say a lot of IDs company, right, is either they are salesmen or they are designers. Fire, let's go.
But okay lah. I mean like for you just do it with the fire. When you see things start to burn down or whatnot, whatever lah.
When it starts to burn down, then we start running lah. We see how lah. No smoke coming yet, still okay. So yes, you all have to be very wary, right? When you all look for design companies, right? Whether they are salesmen or they are really designers.
Hard to tell if I'm new, right? I assume like whoever wants to go for renovation, right? It's sure I would say 80% first time.
Do your due diligence. Go see their portfolio. Ask them tricky questions, see how they solve it. And then if they give you a solution, you say, oh, so you got this height problem, let me do this at this height and then maybe put a stool. Then you know they got think of it. Right? Yeah. Experienced ID will tell me this. So when I first time do my ID, right, my ID tell me this and I don't even realize it. They say, okay, Ryan, you work as a YouTuber means you shoot a lot of content, right? So your house shouldn't have a lot of mirror and reflective surfaces. Hey, I never thought of that. This is a mark of a good experience ID.
My biggest attribute that I want my ID to have, right, is the ability to
and have C cups.
That's yours lah.
Yeah, I think that's yours. The best attribute is problem solving. Because I feel like as the homeowner, right, I have zero experience in all this knowledge. I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether this paint will work well. A lot of things I always ask my idea, like, you just I don't know. You tell me what color I want. I don't know. Anything that looks good, honestly. And one thing good about him was he managed to problem solve a lot of things. I wanted to display so many things. I wanted figurines, I wanted Pokemon cards.
If I have your idea, I'd quit. This also one. This also one.
At first, Ryan was like, okay, we go for a meeting, right? Then we sat down with the ID. Then I just say what I want lah, to be clear ma. Then I realized I say like as if I'm renovating my whole house. I want storage for 2 different kind of things.
I want to put Batman and Pokemon and then make it gel.
Then I still want a projector. I say like I want a big bed.
Then he say he want to eat in his room. Then he want to have multiple dining place options. One by the bed, one by the. I say why?
I think at that point in time, my idea is like, oh, this guy.
For me, I was like, man, seriously, I don't think it can be done.
So what he suggested that I really like a lot until to this day, right, was the suggestion of putting my cards on the floor. You know, the one that I displayed. That was very nice.
But also realistically, he have no other place to put it. I only can think on the floor, on the ceiling. Yeah, but that is a mark of a good ID.
Yeah, because I don't know anything.
So even as IDs, right, because there's no regulation, right, when you pick a company to join, right, hopefully you can do more research and see what's the mix of designers there.
Yeah,
if they can't even simply draw something on a piece of paper, right?
But I kind of understand where you're coming from because you're a newbie, you know, and like you didn't have much choice in your selection of jobs. So, but really, I think like your first job very important. Yeah, I think, and as you say, you cannot this. But I guess it will mold you to be a more resilient person.
Yeah, because if you survive through this, you will survive through anything. This is a very tough job. I might not be able to do this. I think I'll break down and cry.
The person wanted to, but cannot cry at all.
No time to cry.
It's so bad, I know no time to cry.
You should frame out your $3.50. It's a story, man. It's a good story.
I wish all the best for you. I hope your next company is not like that. And you will succeed in life, I believe. And the next submission is by Avocado. I chose because I love avocado.
Okay.
He or she said, I asked my contractor for cement screed wall. At first they quoted me wall plaster and don't know what lah. I think they never do before. I even gave them a lot of examples. Also told them I don't want to paint due to peeling. That's why I chose cement screed wall. I told them the house I ran before, the cement screed wall is very smooth, not shiny, cold to touch. I don't know why you want to touch cold walls.
Some people like more cooling.
Singapore very hot.
But you go around touching walls.
But I tell you I don't think that's cement screed. If it's cold to touch, right, it's probably concrete. But okay, now my go.
The final result was very bad, very blotchy at the bottom, some rough patches. One wall even had 2 different tones, very obvious. One like as if they do halfway, then the other half they do the next day. But then use different cement. Then I asked, why the result very bad? Then they said, you want cement-screed? I give you cement-screed.
Okay. I don't think that's the tone. It's, you want cement-screed? I give you cement-screed, oh? I think that's the tone.
My tone not right, man.
They are tone wrong. Because it's like saying that I'm trying to correct. I'm going to do a real proper cement-screed.
Then I say again. Then they said, you want cement-screed? I give you cement-screed.
No. Like, is there a correcting action of the change, bro?
Okay. Then they said, you want cement-screed? I give you cement-screen lah.
I get it.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. Then I said, I know cement-screed color is uneven, but not this bad.
Right.
The bottom very ugly. Then you know what I say? I say it's like that. You cannot accept. Then I say my men do a very bad job. They are not experienced. You happy? Then after a few arguments, they fixed it with skirting. What's that?
Skirting. Skirting is below part.
I know the skirt. It's bad. Okay, we go skirt. Then the two different tone, I had to fight for it.
Right.
Ask them to explain why is it like that. At first they say if do one more time it'll be worse. Then I tell them just do one more time. The whole wall one more time. Not do halfway. I must teach them
Wow.
CCB.
Wow.
Hey, I like you very Singaporean.
Super Singaporean. Feels like you are 42 years old. Like that.
yeah. Wow, piang eh. They are one of the cheapest out there, but yeah, the workmanship quite bad. As a first timer, I also don't know what I can ask for or what I can't. I just accept whatever. Their tiling job also quite bad, not leveled, door also not leveled, but the cement wall is too obvious, so I cannot close one eye.
You pay peanuts, you get monkey. Oh. You go for the cheapest. Then what you expect? You are P, you are C, you are BB. It doesn't work this way. You can't pay less and then expect good. Another thing is, right, if you wanted this cement screening and you show examples, right, ask them if they got do before, show you the examples that they did before. You probably never asked for that, that's why don't have. But okay, I understand. First time renovate, you may not know all this lah. But this is where you learn.
Wait, I got a question. Cement screed is like raw cement.
You know HDB downstairs corridor, the floor?
Yeah.
That's cement screed. It's something like that. Some people like it in the house because if your house got like scratches, dirty, all that, cannot really see. As opposed to if I use real wood, it's not only expensive, right? Somebody drop something, right? Wow, one dent down there.
Because what I heard, again, bust my myth.
Bust your beef.
Not my beef, my myth.
Bust your nut. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want you to bust my nut. So what I heard about cement screed and like maybe cement flooring is that it's not very good for home reno. Because for an example, if you are a very careless person, you accidentally spill coffee or you are very clumsy as a person, you always spill things on the floor. This kind of liquid like coffee or milk, right, tends to seep into the cement where it creates a very weird patch, very weird blotch.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, but some people like it because they feel like it's like a bit
authentic,
wabi-sabi.
Okay.
It grows with it.
But like that, you'll just be a sapi.
So that one, myth busted.
Myth buster!
Thank you. Okay, so wabi-sabi, right? I think a lot of people out there, they don't really understand is that wabi-sabi actually means the perfection in imperfections.
It's accepting the imperfection,
Correct.
growing with the imperfection,
Correct.
accepting the imperfection.
So for those homeowners that want their team to be wabi-sabi, and then they see something that is imperfect, then they like, hey, why like that? Not perfect.
That is not wabi-sabi. I tell you honestly, of all the projects I ever do, right, there is only one house that was real wabi-sabi,
Right.
which is the Edmund Architect house, landed one, not do with your one, do with Aiken and NOC. So their one, right, is when they build the concrete blocks, right, to build a concrete block, they need to pour the cement into a mold, and then when it's dry out, it pour out, then it's the block, correct?
Right.
So sometimes the pour is not done consistently or well, then got air bubbles, they start to have all that, right? He used those blocks to build. He don't care. So he really accepts the imperfection, all the scratches on the wall and all that, he accepts. That is called real wabi-sabi.
So it's also not only sometimes the ID fault that is imperfect, is that you must understand the design that you're going for,
so
correct?
a lot of people, they call themselves wabi-sabi, actually it's not. Really,
because like
half
they see,
of the nonsense I see out there is not wabi-sabi.
because they see crack, then they're like, hey, why here got crack? Why here?
Half the time it's really sapi.
Rather than cement screed, right, I got another recommendation.
Okay.
Another screed that you can use.
Okay, what?
Assassin's Creed.
Sorry, then.
I saw that coming. As long as you're happy. As long as you're happy.
As long as you're having fun and you are having fun, that's all that matters.
Let us know in the comments whether you are amused by the joke. So,
But I think what happened at that point in time, it was like, at least a very good example of having a very bad idea because the homeowner have no knowledge or whatsoever. Even if the homeowner say like, cement screed is good, blah, 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 blah.
You
he or
can
she may
correct,
not be right.
yeah.
As the ID, you are the professional. I feel like when the homeowner say like, hey, I don't like this, it's not what I envision or whatnot, right? I don't think it's their fault because the homeowner have no vision or whatsoever. I don't like this kind of ID because I feel like your job is to tell me what you can do, what can you solve. I don't like it, you don't tell me, you don't like suck it and that's your problem.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
That's not what I hire you for. I hire you to build my vision. Then if you build out something that's not my vision, then I don't think that's my fault because I really have no experience with all this.
I agree, but you have to be very clear about what you want. You get what I mean? Let's say if you are my ID, I tell you I don't know what color I want. Then you start to do my color board. Then I say, but I don't like that color. That is my fault, right? So you have to be very specific. I like for my house, I say I absolutely don't want to see a shred of grey in my house. So then it's very clear to them, right? They won't even consider any grey.
Right.
So as homeowners, you have the responsibility to be clear and concise.
Yes. What happened there was like wall has two different tones.
I
don't think
skill level, but that ties in with what he said at the end. I went for the cheapest out there. There you go.
I feel like you go for renovation really shouldn't like 省钱 that one.
There's certain things you really just cannot save money. I honestly will say that.
I feel like the only thing you can sell is things like those Taobao furnitures, you know? Like things that is like decorative.
That's where you're wrong. Decorative, okay. But anything, let's say you buy from Taobao, right, like tables or chairs that you need to fix up, right, typically can have a lot of problems. So buy things that you don't need to fix up.
Yeah, that's why like decorative floor. I feel like anything else, anything that you use often, right, I would rather pay for it.
So will you say it's a red flag that the ID say the homeowner want to do, so I just do for him?
I mean, do for him correct but you do such a shit job. But again, you're cheap.
One thing I like about my ID at that point in time was because I got say things that I want to do. For example, I wanted a platform. I never had a platform. I want to try. But I also will ask him like whether it's a good idea or not. Right. Sometimes the homeowner want, but it may not be a visible idea. And then that's where the ID come in because you are experienced. You cannot just say like you want it, I give you all. Then turn out ugly there like you wanted it. What? Cannot like that. I want something, but I don't know whether it works out. You are the one that should tell me whether it works out.
You know why this is doesn't apply here? Because he hired a contractor, not an ID.
Again.
Contractor is really 你叫我做什么我就做什么咯。That's what a contractor does.
So what does a contractor do again?
With that face?
No. You ask the contractor to do something, they will just do it. That's it. That's their job.
I wish they do it with their face. But I won't fault them.
But a contractor basically is do what they're supposed to do. ID, if he hire an ID, the ID might advise.
I feel like after going through my that one renovation, I really think ID damn important. Damn important. Someone like me, no experience.
A good ID.
I can f up a lot of things. And they are there to help you. Of course, you must find a good one lah. And I think like you shouldn't like 省钱 on this kind of thing because it's gonna stay with you for at least numerous number of years. And why save on it? It's like what you said just now. You save now, in the future breakdown, you also need to pay money. You might as well just get a good one now.
This ties into our industry a lot. Last time when I first started YouTube, right, I always buy those very cheap tripod, $20, $30 tripod, all that. Then one day, right, I put my expensive camera on this very cheap tripod. Then got a very big wind. My entire camera broke. Then I asked myself to save the tripod money. The good one $300. I spent $20, but I lost $4,000 on the camera. From then on, right, when it comes to camera equipment, I would not.
That one is 我是傻逼.
Once I buy a good one, right, it doesn't break. It's reputable.
I also understand that a lot of you have budget. I also do have my budget. But you really need to
think on long run. Really think on long run.
Put those money where you'll use most one. Like for example, for my house, right, the most money I put in was lighting.
Yo, purple light.
I feel like I go into like those like
go and grow plants one.
Crime scene one. Like they need the IV light.
IV light. IV light.
UV light. UV ultraviolet. You always like the correct IV light.
Then right, I knew I had a budget to stick to, but like I spend the most of my money on that.
No compromise you want.
I'll put that because I feel like it's important. Why do I need to save money and then I suffer after that? Then I don't feel like saving money. I'm wasting money.
And I have to ask you this honest question. After you renovate a room, right, you go home, you feel happier?
Of course.
You look forward to it?
Of course.
You don't want to go out, right? You want to stay, right? A lot of people underestimate this. They will feel like I only staying here for 5 years, 6 years. Never mind lah, 随便住啦. Well, I understand that point. You want to save money. But in the 5-6 years, you're not happy to go home. You living in misery. For what?
I am in misery. There ain't nobody who can comfort me. Oh yeah.
You need to buy what? I feel like, right, since you're going to be there for some time, right, if you give yourself a very good environment to go with, right, you feel more restful, you feel more inspired. Worth.
I agree.
It's not a spending, it's an investment.
It's money well spent.
And your house looks so pretty, easier to sell also next time. If your house, how?
I agree. Like even though like I renovate my room for less than a year, I still love it. It's like as if I go in, right, it's new to me or that kind of thing.
Last time I know he go out very often. Now it's always he just stay at home, watch Netflix, play game, all that. He's like he really love his room. I can tell.
You install camera in my room?
Yes, I install.
No
Because
idea.
when I renovate, right, I ask the ID put the
the spy cam.
Yeah. Sometimes I see you and Nigel on the bed. Then I just turn it
Yeah,
on.
then after I heard like I don't know here from where.
Next question by Pomegranate. Hope this isn't too lackluster for a shoot. This happened before COVID. I was renting a room while waiting for my new condo to TOP. With 2 months for defect checks and reno, I kept the defect list minimal to avoid extending my rental. But my hubby, who had a place to stay, and his buddy and ID kept procrastinating on the start date and choosing materials for our built-in wardrobe. When it was time for handover, we faced delays. I told my hubby to arrange the furniture delivery for a specific date, but of course, procrastination struck and it came days early. Our furniture ended up soaked on the balcony because we hadn't installed the motorized blinds yet. Thankfully, it was wrapped well. Then, for some reason, the subcontractor removed all the protective boxes from our floors before the reno was done. Our flooring got scratched and the parquet, right? Or parquet? Parquet, sorry, I thought parquet. And the parquet. And the parquet had dents and holes, adding more delays to find someone to fix it. If we hadn't done a surprise check, we wouldn't have caught it.
That's why be involved.
To meet our auspicious move-in date and avoid extra rent, our ID handed over the house 80% completed. My hubby didn't want to reprimand his buddy. While the delay was just a week, this was our first home and we didn't expect these hiccups. The hole in our parquet. The holes in our floor now remind us why we shouldn't hire our friends as IDs.
See? You proved my point right. When all this type of thing happen, it's very kawaii. But another thing is, right, have one decision maker to do anything to your house renovation, and that person that is the decision maker, right, shouldn't have a choice disorder. Because there are choices, a lot of choices to be made in a renovation. If not, very hard. Green, white, or there's 20 different type of white. Which one? Very hard to choose one.
But guy, right, it white, choose white.
Yeah. I agree. Because when my girlfriend showed me all lipstick, right, this one or this one, it all looks the same red.
Exactly.
But when it comes to renovation, I'm more anal. The one I can tell.
So what is parquet?
The wood flooring. Okay, like our one looks like wood, but it's vinyl.
Okay.
The parquet one is an expensive type of wood that is real wood. The whole thing is wood.
So if it's wet, GG.
Yeah. However, for those people that go for parquet flooring, it looks the nicest, but it's also the most expensive and the highest maintenance. Because if it's real wood, termite might go in, it might rot, it might change. When it's raining or hot, it will expand and it will contract. A lot of problem that may come up.
That's why vinyl is better lah.
Yes, and you might need to varnish it. If you are very rich and you got a lot of time, right, then yeah, go for parquet. But the closest thing to parquet, you can go for engineered wood flooring.
Okay.
Then you get the best of both worlds. Not as expensive, easier to maintain, but not entirely real wood. I also think because as guys, we always paiseh when our friend like do something, they say, okay lah, 青菜啦. Let's say today they come to my lor mee store to eat, right? And then they found a spider inside. I think they will also say, never mind lah, it's okay.
Yeah, true.
You'll be like, it's okay lah, natural. It's
just give me one more bowl.
Just give me one more bowl. But you won't make a fuss out of it. As guys, we are like that. So I think your husband is caught in a situation like left side is Lao Po, right side is Barbie. What am I going to do?
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately,
again, try not to use friend.
Yeah.
Okay, the next is by Mango.
Okay.
And Mango said, bro, I am suay, meet a shitty ID company and they even got featured in CNA.
Wow.
He cheat customer, own staff, and also contractors. What happened was, after months of searching, my wife and I finally found an interior designer that we liked and signed a contract in October 2022 with this company. And it's known for its unique design. However, nearly 2 years later, we still cannot move into their home due to numerous hiccups.
Oh, I think I saw that.
I think it's on CNA lah. Maybe you can see. I don't know. I just see.
Oh, okay. I saw that.
Problems began with incorrect measurements and the designer left abruptly.
That's why HomePay will help you.
The project was passed to 2 more designers before director took over in September. Despite these, delays continued, so we sought help from the Consumer Association of Singapore in January. Unfortunately, the director stopped responding to cases inquiries, effectively ghosting them. We were frustrated and decided to pursue legal action and were awarded a court judgment for nearly $75,000.
Wow!
To reclaim our money. Overall, we were disappointed as it felt like a nightmare despite paying a premium for the service.
Right. It do be like that.
Even though they did their due research, it was a reputable company and they paid high price for it. they still kena this kind of
Well,
shit.
kena one. All the safeguards can be there, but you never know what. NOC was a reputable company, suddenly it took. What happened if there was clients back then? Cannot
Heng sui one lah.
heng sui
You
lah.
just sui lah,
Because honestly, for a company to fall, don't always see everything as cheat lah, okay? What if the company really go down under bankrupt, really cannot fulfill the thing? Then obviously, they'll be scared, they are stressed, there's a lot of situations. Of course, the right thing to do is make sure you clean up all your mess properly. But easier said than done. To his case, he was very unfortunate, but luckily, at least he was awarded for the $75,000. He at least get it back. But all the time that is wasted. And then I think this guy will forever scared of renovation.
Yes, sir.
It was very unfortunate that you met up with this, you encounter this situation. There will always be some black sheep of any industry, in fact. Should we put this company name?
Already say CNA.
I said already.
Oh, you say it.
Wait, that's the name?
That's what I said.
Even the name sounds so...
Sounds like you do 2 years, right? Then sure to one.
Yeah. That's why I say, ultimately, right, case, right, even like case trust, all that, right, they have limitation how much they can do because they at most can mediate, right? It will escalate all the way to a civil lawsuit. You know, hire your own lawyer, go through all the thing, headache. It sucks because you never end the story. Did you actually finally finish your house renovation? We don't know that. He said
like half done.
2 years later, I haven't done that. Don't know done.
Before COVID.
Yeah.
Means the next week is COVID.
Yeah. Wow, shag. Tired. Okay, next question. Kiwi. This one very common. I read the question. He said, mine was considered fairly decent. Just that right after we signed, they brought us across the street to buy bathroom accessories, claiming that it's the cheapest and we trusted them too easily. After purchasing, we checked with others and they were the most expensive.
Wow!
Claim to compensate with extra warranty instead. Shitty start.
Why is it a shitty start?
That's how it start off, ma. Buy all the toilet thing, then realize it's the most expensive lah.
Oh. Can you check the price before, man?
I think it's right then they sign the contract. 我带你去买马桶的东西便宜的，在那边隔壁而已。A lot of salesmen have pressure techniques, ma.
Right.
They were forced. They say take this chance. The last stock already, all that. Which is why. Not say anything, but I don't like to go to that type of light shop, right? They have a lot of different type of brands. Okay, maybe you have variety. Maybe if you are looking for a specific, you can look for a variety. But I feel like it's also a lot of things like you don't have a focus. Everything is import from outside.
Right.
You never do your own product. Like Sol Luminaire, they do their own product. So it's not a product placement, by the way. But you also bought Sol Luminaire light, right? Because it feels like it's their own brand and they craftsman, but not an OEM and all that.
It's like food, like you want bak chor mee, don't go to like prata shop buy this kind.
Sell bak chor mee.
No, actually, like you know the prata shop, they always have like 1,000 things in the menu.
Like they got Maggi goreng kway teow and all the variation. Very long thing. They never specialize in anything. So for me, the type of light shop is like that. So a lot of these vendors, right, they work with IDs, right? They have some sort of kickback and commission.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah. So it's again like what I say, right? Salesmen, they are incentivized to ask you to buy that. Some things, right, maybe you can do your own research and never make any purchase, right, on the day itself. Go back, research, absorb, maybe even go to our, it's not a plug, but our website, Easy Idea, actually, we got a resource. We show all the market price for every item. So you know that as long as it doesn't differ too much from there, right, you know that there's a good gauge.
Like always like go for the shops that are more specialized. Don't go to those
For me,
1 million likes in the shop, then you don't know which one to choose from, right?
Not to say those type of variety, a lot of shops are
It's not good lah.
It's not good. It's like if I want a specific piece, I will find it there lah.
So you have to go shopping with your ID one, is it?
Of course.
Confirm.
Get involved, be involved.
They bring you around, you need to choose what you like.
Yeah. It's also best, right? Let's say you choose a tiles, right? Go to the cashier, go with your ID, pay it right then and there. Maybe the invoice got their kickback or what, doesn't matter, but at least you know what you're getting already.
Right.
You know that this is the tile that I bought. They're not going to swap it with my inferior product, right?
For example, for my case, right, I went for Sol Luminaire lights. And I told my ID I wanted dimmers in my room because sometimes it's a bit too bright on the bed, I don't want. Then when I off the light, it's a bit too dark. I'm not kind of I want dimmers. So we go together, and then when we look at the dimmers, right, whoa, fuyo. Expensive. I didn't buy on that day because I say like, hey, give me time to think lah. It's a bit too much, it's over budget. I say like, if we can like make it one dimmer for one line, that kind of thing. We compromised. Then in the end, I paid for what I like. Then I was happy with it. Like even he bring you to some Chapalang expensive shop, right? It's okay to reject one, right?
You can say no, ma.
Yeah, you can say no, ma.
Never take their word, right? When they say this is the cheapest, this is the best deal I give, because they are incentivized by kickback. Any salesman out there, even you buy car, you go buy a TV out there, right? They are incentivized to say that one. Just do your due research and use resources like ours, right, to know the market price of all that. Your ID have to make some money. You have to accept that they are going to mark up some things. But 不要太过分啦。
Yes.
100块的东西 make $20-30, I think reasonable. They help you choose, they help you handle the installation. Be reasonable as homeowners. Cannot everything you gain, then your ID do for what?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the last episode, right, we actually asked people to comment on our videos.
Right.
Wow, a lot of people comment.
Overwhelming comments.
We so happy.
Wow.
I replied to a lot of them, like really most of them I replied.
Even though the views not as high as we expected, but the comments were
so
blowing up.
heartwarming.
Yes.
We really enjoy reading your comments and we enjoy replying it as well.
Yes. Please continue to comment. I love it lah. I will take time and read.
It encourages us. You see, it's not only I read, everybody can read.
Right. So I think for this episode, right, what y'all can comment is that all the stuff that y'all face during your renos, like all the horror stuff, and then to educate those new homeowners what they can avoid, what they can improve on, and then like what is a better material or what, just comment down below.
With these three sapi, we may not give very good advice but y'all can contribute. This episode belongs to all of you.
Well said.
I also would like to know like what kind of other content or topic y'all would like us to cover.
Correct.
We have this very interesting topic that
this
we were thinking
concept
about.
that we want to do.
We might want to go out, and ask your questions. We've been reading questions through anonymously and
Cannot
through
put a
the
face to it.
through the iPad. Very boring. I cannot ask your question there. So I don't know if y'all would be interested if we go out there and then we invite y'all to sit down with us and then talk to us.
So we're going to go out like to a public place, then we do like an episode of Get It Out, and then you join us. Tell us your story.
Have a chit-chat with us.
Please, you have to let us know whether this is a good idea or whether you'll be interested, and let us know in the comments. If not, we don't know.
Correct. If a lot of people are interested, y'all want to
We
come
will
out,
definitely
we will do it.
Yeah.
We
Comment
Comment
definitely-
down the location where you want us to do it.
Yeah, maybe it's your school, maybe it's your house, maybe it's your house downstairs. Also can.
So, no house downstairs lah. We need a common place lah.
Maybe a park lah.
Preferably.
Maybe a park.
Hot.
Or downstairs the garbage dump there.
You already said don't do your house already.
Thank you for watching and let us know what you think about this episode. Click here for more, click here to what, and cut to the bloopers. Let's start off by making fun of your hair first. It's a bit short, isn't it?
No, handsome.
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 But I don't want to hear the word hair from you.